Hello, Leigh. Welcome.
Hello. I come to this episode recording. I'm just going to let the dear listener know of Queer Girls Watch The West Wing. I've come to this recording both incredibly tired and incredibly fired up.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Yeah, let's
I'm fueled with righteous indignation and rage.
hello.
And also highly caffeinated.
I see. I've come to this record very stressed and hungover.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a wonderful combination of being like, God, I feel awful for lots of different reasons. And I have a tummy ache.
Oh, no. What were you up to last night?
It was my leaving drinks for my job, which I had an absolutely lovely time at. But do you know what I did drink, Leigh?
What?
I did drink 3 shots of tequila rosé.
You had 3 shots. Who do you think you are? 18-year-old Fiona Kingwell.
I was passed it by a friend who looked me dead in the eye when I was like, I don't think I want this. And he went, it's basically Malibu. At which point I went, sure, I'll do 3 shots of it.
It's dangerously delicious.
It's milkshake. It's tequila milkshake.
It's essentially a McDonald's strawberry milkshake, but highly alcoholic.
Yeah. So yeah, I woke up this morning feeling very delicate. And then what I did was doom scrolled the news for far longer than I should have done. And we all know that that's not a safe place to be, no. The news cycle.
Not in 2026.
No.
Not in the 2020s.
No.
Really?
Not really.
Because this decade has been nuts thus far.
Cuckoo.
And I don't
Absolutely
see
cuckoo.
it kind of alleviating itself anytime soon.
God, no, not anytime soon. And with that in mind, I was thrilled to have on the calendar that we would be meeting up and talking about the West Wing.
Yes.
Because I had a great time with this episode.
Guns, not butter.
Yeah. Episode 12, season 4 of the West Wing. I'm ready to go.
It's guns, not butter. Let's get into it.
So first and foremost, some conjecture. Great episode title, but for me, I'd just love to swap it round.
Yeah.
Because I'm a butter, not guns girl.
Agreed. I feel very strongly about gun control.
I feel very strongly about gun control. I also feel very strongly about butter.
As an Irish woman, I feel very strongly about my Kerrygold.
Exactly. As someone who eats dairy, I made a choice a couple of years ago to just not buy like margarine or spread anymore. And we're a butter household. And Leigh, it's changed my life.
You know, it's the small things.
Exactly. And as you said, in the 2020s, we've got to find our pleasure where we can because it's dark out there.
Oh, I was saving this to tell you while we were recording very quickly before we get into the episode recap. Have you seen who they have announced is going to be filling in for Caroline Levitt while she's on maternity leave?
No, please tell me.
I would like to thank dear listener to the pod, Veronica, for sending this in to us. Politico is reporting that covering Caroline Levitt while she's on maternity leave will be Donald J. Trump, J.D. Vance, and other cabinet members.
That's fucking insane.
I am all for it. Put J.D. Vance on that podium and throw him to the wolves, please.
Because the thing is, a lot of people have said they're going to do this who have no idea how difficult that job is.
Yeah.
This is...
Caroline Levitt, I will give it to her. She's a hateful woman, but she's very good at what she does.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's an unusual skill.
Yeah. It's not an easy job to do. And she is doing the job that she has been asked to do very well.
With aplomb.
Into
the episode recap?
Yeah, frightening, truly frightening.
So we have that to look forward to.
Okay, let's go. So welcome to Guns Not Butter, episode 12 of season 4 of The West Wing. The previously on is very kind of like the growing bromance between Will Bailey and Toby. A little dash of Charlie and Zoe post-breakup.
Yes.
And of course, the increasing fear that the Sharif assassination story is going to be broken.
Yes, as we suspected, the annoying Danny storyline is not going away.
Yeah. Luckily, and I have things to say on this, it is being treated very well by CJ. So, we open within the Republican cloakroom.
We do.
With some gals. With some Republican gals.
Incredible Republican hair.
Yeah.
That blow dry, someone had fun with that blow dry. Somebody went into that blow dry with references.
Yeah, 100%. There was a photo that was handed to someone and they were like, say no more.
She may be only in one scene, but her hair will be culturally accurate.
So I think one of them is called Jane. I didn't catch the other woman's name, but we love to see women in positions of power, Leigh, be that for the Republicans or elsewhere. And you know what? It's a strong pearl necklace.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's giving the girlfriend of Reese Witherspoon's ex in Legally Blonde.
Vivian.
It's very Vivian coded, the kind of aesthetic of these women.
It's very high school villain turned good for me, except obviously for the Republicanism.
Yeah. Some strange things are said in this scene. One of them is this.
Warren Harding's mistress was impregnated here. To which I have to say, what a beautiful story. In a cloakroom.
Excellent.
I'm glad she got hers.
Yeah. The reason that Josh is there is because he is trying to collect his yay votes for a foreign aid bill, which is going through the Senate currently. No easy task. And we conclude that we are a vote down, which is a rough spot. And I think here is our story for the episode.
Yes. It's also so dark given where we've ended up with USAID. But it just goes to show, for me, that the Republican argument was never the answer, because we've actually now seen this Republican argument played out.
Yeah.
And we'll get into why I'm so fired up in the study session about that.
I thought that might happen.
Yeah.
To Jed and Charlie, it feels like we're on the road. It feels like we're leaving an airport. I'm not sure where we are, but we have this exchange. It's the curse of every daughter's father.
Boyfriends?
I don't like him. I don't like him at all.
Yes, I know, sir.
What the hell happened with you two? It was perfect. I just kept you in the office all the time.
She was unhappy. I was in the office all the time.
That was the point. If I was trying to make her happy, I'd buy her a cabriolet. Now, I'd like to just start by saying Martin Sheen decides that Jed Bartlett is saying the brand of car, cabriolet, as cabriolet.
Okay, because that was going to be my first question is, what is a cabriolet?
I think he's saying cabriolet like the car. Like that's a brand of car, right?
I fear we're not the girls to answer this question.
I'm asking the internet. And the internet says...
Is a type of car with a retractable roof.
Oh, so it's a soft top
car. It's a convertible.
Car. Yeah, incredible. Okay, so I would call that a cabriolet.
I'd just say...
A convertible.
I'd buy her a convertible.
I personally think we should all start saying cabriolet because it sounds delicious.
But also, finally, we're getting some answers on what happened with the breakup.
Because
this was unseen to our eyes.
These were the redacted scenes. So I think there's more to delve into there.
And dare I say, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm actually glad that we didn't see this happen. Because I think it would have been... I don't know that I could have emotionally handled in the year of our Lord 2026 watching Charlie gradually realize that it's not going to work.
No, I actually needed that to be off screen.
Yeah. I think, yeah. It just, if that is truly the reason for the breakup, it wasn't like I'm going on my semester abroad and like maybe we're like 20 and we shouldn't be doing long distance and we should like have our own experiences. I think that I could have maybe like watched, but
not this.
Too heartbreaking.
No. In lighter news, a new nickname for CJ from Jed.
C-Gene.
Which I actually love.
Which to me does confirm that Jed is exactly the right amount of toxic, that he wants to give you a nickname that no one else uses.
Yes. I like that. I like that from him.
Yes. Also some commotion for CJ's outfit, please. She's in like a big camel coat, just like quite a casual grey sweater and a big red scarf. And it's more kind of smart casual than we're accustomed to seeing. What our forefathers would have called smashable. It's very the mum from Home Alone from CJ.
Exactly. Our queen.
Our dear departed queen. Yeah, it was beautiful to see.
I really like the camel coat and red scarf is a standout for me, and I will discuss it in the quickfires. There's also something called Heifer International, which may or may not involve a photo opportunity with Jed and a cow. And it's storylines like this that make me love this show.
It's the whimsy.
It's whimsy. I'm meeting with a cow. I shouldn't worry about it.
It's a photo op with a cow, sir. It's not a sit down.
I like your sass.
You've got a very nice sass yourself, sir.
Jed and CJ have a very you're my favorite niece.
I was
kind
just
of
about to
relationship.
say, yes.
Funkle favorite niece.
Yeah.
We're kind of heading out into the street and there's loads of people cheering for Jed. There's lots of signs. I'm scared that we're out in public.
I was extremely panicked. I was like, someone we know going to be in the crowd. I was very aware that we were in the open air. I don't know what this show has done to me, but I'm absolutely convinced that someone's going to get shot at all times.
Yes, I agree. There's some very intense eye contact between a woman and Charlie, and she's trying to hand him a flyer or something. And I was like, oh, this is a B plot forming.
I was like, it's arsenic.
Do you mean anthrax?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Arsenic's very it's the Victorian era and I'm trying to poison someone.
Yes.
It's very Poirot of you, darling.
I actually directed a production of Arsenic and Old Lace in high school, I'll have you know.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Deeply on brand. We're going back to a stressed out Joshy in the West Wing.
No, Joshua.
Joshua is so stressed. If I lose this vote, I'm resigning. Good. Nice and chill then.
It's giving Big Tobacco vibes from
really
Josh.
Is. And the thing is, we support where he's coming from. I would support this bill.
Yes. Just as we would support bringing down Big Tobacco. But
Sure.
It's not your own personal hero's journey, Josh.
Yeah. It's a bad day at work, but there we are.
It's more of a large-scale societal issue than something that you personally are going through.
Yeah. But we have until midnight to find our last vote. So we're going to kind of scrabble around and see if we can flip someone, essentially. Hi, Will Bailey.
It's so lovely to see these two finally meeting.
Yeah. And there's actually so basically Will's trying to work on the speech still for Toby. And he's come to Josh to get some advice. And Josh is just awful and kind of a dick. And rather than saying I don't have time or capacity for this today, he just calls him Bill twice and then does a lot of muttering to himself. And then Will leaves and walks past Donna and she's like, hey, Ted. And I'm like, what's happened? Why can't just learn his name? He works here.
I think it's an intentional hazing.
Well, I
think he knows full well who he is.
This is kind of what became apparent to me, but I really hate when people don't learn someone's name because they're you're unimportant.
Agreed.
So I think I was personally triggered.
Yes.
by the hazing.
Which is fair. I do love that Josh, in his hazing of Will Bailey, is kind of looking at him as you're such a nerd, when it's Josh, respectfully, this man is holding up a mirror. You are the same man. And it is said that we dislike the most in others what we dislike about ourselves.
Truly.
And I think he's holding up a mirror, dear Joshua, to your own nerddom. He also thinks he's the smoothest operator in the world when he goes, I've heard the jokes. What do you need? It's you're not this much of a baller, Josh.
Yeah,
come on. And we all know.
Everyone's having a big day. We all work at the White House, you know?
I will say that I do find Josh's hazing of Will to be significantly less whimsical than the hazing of Will by others.
Yeah, filling his office with bicycles is a lot more fun than just who are you?
Who even are you?
Who even are you? Yeah, so I miss Sam.
Yes.
Because Sam would just be really excited that there's someone new working there and would want to show Will around and be do you want to know some history about the Roosevelt Room?
Yes, it's very, for anyone who's seen that particular Mae Martin comedy special, it's very, let me show you my snow globes.
Yes. So we find out who our person to flip the vote is. It's a freshman Democratic senator called Grace Harden. And I was oh, I bet she's going to be this live wire and we're gonna like have like a moment where we have to like really kind of get to like down to the nitty gritty.
I was somewhat hoping for like a Jasmine Crockett style moment.
Yeah, you know what I mean? When
With
someone
Grace
says,
Harden,
you know,
but
freshman
alas.
senator, you think this could be a really exciting story about like, you know, a woman in her early, like, well, I guess it's 2002. So let's just assume like a woman in her early 40s, like becoming a senator, which would have been a really great storyline. The storyline goes elsewhere and it is super interesting.
Yeah.
But I do think we were kind of robbed a face-to-face with Grace Harden.
Yeah.
Personally.
Because her main character trait is that she's hiding.
Yeah. Tell me more about how you're feeling about Donna right now.
So I think we need to take a moment for how far Donna has come, because she's kind of coaching Josh through his stressy day. And she's like offering Josh senators to try. She's like talking through strategies with him. Like the era of the teledonna is long gone.
I think so too.
Like saying like, we've been here before. You had 2 different strategies that were shouted down. You can't take the fall for this. It's much more of a like, we're on an equal footing and I'm your partner in this.
Yeah, like there's much more of like the political operative in the way she's speaking than even a season ago.
I honestly feel like we are overdue for a Donna promotion. She's not fulfilling the role of like assistant anymore.
No, she needs to just be part of his team. But the problem is she's too valuable to him because she does work that other people would refuse to do. So it's really, she's in a really difficult position. Yeah, I mean, I think in the long run of this show, and maybe this season, maybe in a later season, this will have to be addressed at some point. The fact that actually Donna could have far more influence working as part of Josh's team rather than as his EA. But we just got to try and see who takes the first step there, whether it's Donna saying like, I want more, or whether it's Josh being like, I know that I've been holding you back. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Because she's in a position right now that I feel like you and I and like a lot of our friends have been in, because we are kind of the same age and demographic as Donna is in the show, of like, the job that I am actually doing is not reflected in the job title that is I'm walking away with on my resume. Like I was doing so much more than the job title I was being afforded.
And you've got to be so careful about that. I mean, we were lucky that the Bartlett administration was re-elected, but like there was a world in which Donna left having been an assistant to Joshua Lyman, which isn't necessarily actually the role that she's been doing this whole time.
No.
I think that was a really interesting conversation that we just had, Leigh. I'm going to completely undercut this by just hating on Zoe's boyfriend, if that's okay.
I hate Jean-Paul. I hate him so much.
He's a little prick. Do you know what I mean? So we're in Charlie's office and he's like speaking to one of the people who works as part of his team. They're going through some mail and he's kind of just being like, okay, can you do X, Y, and Z for me? And then Jean-Paul's just like leaning on the desk and he's like, so Charlie, what you do is you sort the mail for Zoe's father.
Fuck off, Jean-Paul. Like, did you or did you not just see Charlie delegate to a subordinate?
It's so,
Charlie has people who report to him. Like,
it's so juvenile though, because he, you know, when you're like, well, you've done that to get a rise out of him.
Have you ever had a job full stop, Jean-Paul? That's what I want to know.
My answer is no.
Because guess what? Marie Antoinette was beheaded 400 years before you were born.
Just sit down, Jean-Paul.
So we know you're not working as a royal, okay?
Okay. Turns out it wasn't a flyer that was handed to Charlie in the rope line. It was in fact a letter from a former servicewoman who is asking for, she's on food stamps.
She's in the armed forces and she is eligible for food stamps because of what she makes versus how many kids she has.
Yes. And basically she wanted to get this in front of the president because some might say that's quite a tricky situation. But essentially she's been like, going to give it to Charlie to like put in front of the right people, i.e. the president. And he's going to read it and he's going to try and do something because he's a good man, unlike Jean-Paul. Jean-Paul just keeps smirking at him and I could slap the smirk straight off that little man's
And I'm going to
face.
say it, I don't even think he's that good looking.
No, I don't think, and everyone keeps talking about how attractive he is.
I think Charlie is way hotter.
It's not for me, Leigh.
He couldn't wear a long wool coat the way that Charlie Young wears a long wool coat.
No.
There, I said it.
To a press briefing, CJ's fringe is on point. I'm loving the new hair. I think it looks phenomenal. She's also wearing this really gorgeous grey suit that is cut impeccably.
Because this haircut at this time could have very easily gone in a flicky direction, and it hasn't, which is key.
So after the press briefing, CJ pulls Danny to one side to like give him a quote. But she's so clever because really what she's doing is like breadcrumbing in where he's at with the Sharif story. And it's so clever. They have this kind of back and forth where he ends up telling her kind of where he's at in the investigation, which I don't think he would have intentionally done. And like the whole way through, she keeps on like sidestepping his questions, and like she keeps mentioning things about like the way he looks and like if he's dating his assistant and stuff. Like it's really great deflection tactics that she ends up with all the information that she wants, but he's kind of got nothing.
Yeah.
It's really clever. And like
but without giving the impression that she's being cagey at any time.
Exactly. That's the key. And so that is a combination of phenomenal writing and also Alison Janney just being a queen. She signs off her scene by just looking adoringly into her fish tank and saying,
"What's up there, Gail?"
Sweet Gail.
It's a kind of like melancholic moment that I really enjoyed.
It's got a sense of exhale about it, you know?
Oh, wow, Fee. I also am like, either be together or not with Danny. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's done for CJ. I think it is valuable for her to make him feel like something might happen. Which I love.
Yeah.
Love. It's proving very hard to find Senator Grace Harden.
Yes. We love seeing, though, Donna managing the EA team in the bullpen. It's lovely to see.
Donna has got a side quest. She's been given a cell phone. She's off.
That flip cell phone that she gets given is a beautiful thing. If you recall, I came to university with a phone like that.
Yeah.
I refused to get a smartphone for like...
too long.
To the point where it was like comical. Yeah.
Your dad actively worked for a tech company, and you were like, I don't know if this whole smartphone thing's going to catch on. And I was like, respectfully, it is.
Respectfully, it did 5 years ago.
Yeah. You came to university with a flip phone. I came to university with a hand-me-down BlackBerry.
Whoa.
That a friend of mine had given me because she had, I think, got like an early iPhone. I remember being like, I'm just a art student with a BlackBerry. I could do anything.
A moment for the BlackBerry. What a whimsical name.
I don't think I had internet access on there because I don't think I had internet as part of the like SIM package I had. But no. I loved the way that you could type on it. Jed is in full flow. We're in front of a crowd. I don't know where Jed is. I don't know who the crowd is, but the crowd's going wild.
It's never explained. We just know that the people love him.
They love him, and also they love this foreign aid bill.
Yes.
If I may. I wrote this out because I was very impassioned, and I was like, where have all the people gone who used to lead countries like this? We live in an interdependent world, and we should act like it. We live in a global community, and we should sustain it. We should cross borders. We should cross borders to build sustainable democracies that can banish privation and fear. And we should cross borders to bring food and medicine and roads and schools and teachers to parts of the world forgotten by all but the warlords. We're gonna pass this foreign ops bill. This should be a century of hope and prosperity everywhere. And America's gonna lead the world and not just bully it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's devastating in 2026, really.
I think that's why I typed it out, because I was like,
yeah.
Just the sentence, America is gonna lead the world and not just bully it. How in the last 15 years we have traveled so far from that as a concept.
Anyway,
moving on.
As he comes down from giving his speech, I just wanted to give a nod to the very handsome Secret Service man who really gives his all to walking across the shot. I just was proud of him.
We love are they called supporting artists?
Yes.
We don't say background actors anymore.
No, because...
there's no such thing as small parts, only small actors.
Correct.
Jed is furious as he leaves the podium. We do get a quick kind of mention to Zoe he sort of says something to her, and he refers to her as Peach Patch.
Which is very 50s, and I loved it.
Okay, Peach Patch. Then he goes straight back into fury.
Yeah.
And this is because Leo's let him know that we're kind of like one vote down at the moment.
Yeah.
Can we please talk about this sentence?
This is referring to Senator Grace Harden. She's been a little slippery, but this is where Josh eats. I'm torn between like appreciating and being disgusted by this.
I think the only person that could get away with saying that is Leo.
Yeah.
But equally,
truly. Any other character said it, I'd be like...
So what you're saying is you don't want me to be like, don't stress about this, guys. This is where Leigh eats. Because I actually quite enjoy that.
I mean, if it's gonna be about me like stamping down a heckler who's like on a stag do, yeah, I want you to go like, this is where Leigh eats.
Okay, let's take it. Let's take it and use it.
Also, like, Leo is just on a comedic bend this episode because he also says a split second of humor injected in the middle of a stressful day. Sir, sounds to me like we're talking about the act of a friend.
I just think that Leo's getting some, and it's really kind of bringing out his lighter side.
Oh my God, that is it. He's like in the honeymoon, googly-eyed era. He's like just in a constant like state of Frank Sinatra.
It's very crooner. He's like putting on like jazz and making breakfast, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, Jordy, you want some eggs?
I sent Nancy out to the bakery to get us some fresh baguette this morning.
I, at this point in the shared doc, I just start gushing about CJ's camel coat and the red scarf. I also think she's either wearing a flag pin, like an American flag pin, or it could be her Gale pin that she got for Christmas, which could be cute. We find out that it was Abby who was the one who set up the photo op with the cow. And I was like, I really want this storyline to bear fruit because honestly, it's so batshit.
I also, though, like, if my wife was the president, I would do shit like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. You'd just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. The Heifer International will be popping by with a cow. Jed, I think, is razzed up about the vote, but I think he has a low-level annoyance that just his daughter's boyfriend is still just hanging around like a bad smell.
Totally. I see a lot of my father in this.
I was going to say, there is just sort of a lot of like begrudging, like, I know she's allowed to have a boyfriend, but I don't have to like it.
Yeah.
Now turn around casually and tell me if Le Vicomte de Valver's got his hands anywhere near anyone who's related to me.
I really appreciate the passive aggression of a parent refusing to actually use the name of their child's boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah, definitely. Zoe looks really cute though. She's like got this little patterned scarf on that's like almost like a leopard print, and I think her semester abroad has definitely brought in like the hoop earring era. She's got like a nice big silver hoop on.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. She looks glam. Jean-Paul continues to be an arrogant prick. I fear, because I was like, Charlie's above this. Unfortunately, I do feel like Charlie is going to bite at some point.
Yeah, because we know that, and this is one of the things we love about Charlie, is like Charlie is like the most mature man in the room, but then he is petty, and that's why we love him. You know?
Now, Leigh, we're going to meet Jimmy.
Yes.
Jimmy is a senator, I guess.
And I hate him.
Oh, Jimmy makes my tummy hurt.
I cannot stand Jimmy.
So he says to Toby Ziegler, look, I'm a yay vote. And Toby's like, what? And he's like, I'll be like in your office in an hour, and I can tell you why I'm going to vote yay. And I'm like, oh, this guy is going to drive a hard bargain. What does he want?
There's nothing more intense than a white male evangelical American Christian who's never heard the word no. It's just like, oh, they're so exhausting.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? We swing back to the West Wing to Charlie biting at Jean-Paul, kind of being like, are you even going to do anything? So Charlie rings the Pentagon. And someone's like, he's like, hey, I normally talk to this guy. And they're like, well, you're talking to like Commander such and such, which feels a bit scary, but Charlie is brave. And I was like, maybe this will be a good thing. TBC. We will come back to this. We've got 11 hours left till the vote.
We love a countdown.
Josh is floundering.
Yes.
Will Bailey keeps turning up and asking for feedback, which just today isn't the day for Josh's support.
No, but I do feel my instinct was that Will holds the answer, holds the key to Josh's answer.
Yeah, I agree. But also Josh doesn't actually want anyone to help him right now.
No, because he wants the glory of winning.
Yeah. We're going to touch base with the horrific Jimmy again. So it turns out Jimmy is a senator who brokered a bill to get the word God inserted into the Pledge of Allegiance 4 more times.
It's so funny. That just tells us everything we needed to know.
I am unsure if we want to get into bed with him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He wants $115,000 for a study. I want to pay people to pray.
Out of the federal budget?
Yep. Fascinating. So he's like, I want money for a study, a medical study. If we paid people to pray for people who are unwell, could we find out if praying works?
Yeah.
Toby is like, this is crazy. You know, like, we can't do this. And then Jimmy says something kind of unforgivable.
Yeah, because Toby says, oh, you know, CJ dealt with this a couple of episodes ago, which we know. And your man, hateful Jimmy, responds by saying, was that before or after her agent got shot at a fruit stand? I hate him.
Don't bring that up
so
casually.
Needlessly insensitive.
It's needlessly insensitive. It's also, like, it's actually very rude to, like,
it's
talk about
like,
the loss of a Secret Service agent with such flippancy.
It's also just like, hun, like, I thought you guys were supposed to be like the FBI's greatest supporters. Like, don't you guys love law enforcement? Like, asshole.
He is an asshole. And Toby is now caught in a quandary because he could get the yay vote that they need, and it's only going to cost him $115,000. It's a cheap price for this support, but
Toby has been given his own personal Sophie's choice.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as the movie. Donna's at the airport. This senator really doesn't want to be found. Grace does not want to be found.
A moment for Donna's scarf being almost identical to Amanda Bynes' scarf on the poster of What a Girl Wants. I have to say, I don't hate it.
No. Donna can pull it off because she has the hair for it.
Yes.
It's the poker
that very,
straight blonde
sleek,
hair.
Rachel Green.
Yes. Shiny.
Aesthetic.
Now, the coolest thing ever happens, which is Donna bumps into one of Grace's aides and is like, hey, I have this phone. Joshua Lyman wants to speak to Senator Hardin. In fact, the president wants to speak to her. Is she available? And the aide is like, no, like, she's not around. I don't actually know where she is. And you're like, liar. And then just call her Special Agent Donna. She just does the coolest thing I've ever seen. She goes up to
coolest thing I have ever seen.
She just goes up to a random man who's like holding some paperwork, and he's like, hey, can I borrow this envelope? And he's like, sure. She's like, I'm going to bring it back in a second. She then goes up to some other members of Senator Hardin's team who are like collecting some bags. And she's like, oh, sorry, guys, we've not met. Like, I work for the senator. I just like need to get this paperwork to her. Like, I can't remember like where she is. And they're like, oh, she's at that media lunch. And she's like,
it's so smooth.
Thank you so much. And then she gives the envelope back to this guy and like heads off to the media lunch. It's so cool.
It's phenomenal.
And you're right. The Teledonna era is over. Leigh, it's a goat.
It is a goat. Why is a goat so much worse than a cow? I can't explain it, but it is.
I think goats are just fundamentally unserious animals.
Well, as a Capricorn, I would disagree.
I actually find that very insulting.
I would disagree as a goat myself. But maybe there's just something very American about like beef.
Yes. And like beef and like dairy, you know.
And big dairy.
Big dairy.
Whereas
it's just a goat.
A goat is like, oh, who eats goat milk? Like snowflakes. with
lactose intolerance,
cow milk allergies, you know?
Did the First Lady get you drunk and take you shopping?
Leo, yes.
The way that Leo and CJ just stood staring at this goat is so funny. Just both of them trying to work out, like, what the fuck they're going to do.
Also, is it the same young man handling Ron the goat who was handling the turkeys?
Mike.
Yes.
It could well be. I would love to look into that. If the president's wearing a hat or this thing's wearing a Bartlett button, I'm hiding snakes in your car.
Come on, don't say that. Not even as a joke.
You're never going to know where they are, or if you got all of them out, they're going to lay eggs right in the glove compartment.
Leo is just being so fun at the moment. I love him.
Also being like, I'm going to make a joke about the fact that I know you have an aversion to snakes, but I'm going to wind you up anyway. It's very thigh-slapping crooner energy. Your boy's getting his. We've got a lot of time for Mike the goat handler. Just as a day player coming into the West Wing and being like, I'm going to be the goat handler in the West Wing.
Yes, it's like, who did you play in the West Wing? Mike, the goat handler. Aaron Sorkin does truly delight, however, in having Alice and Janney interact with various farm animals.
At this point, it must be that like she reads the script and she's like, yes, of course, a goat, of course. So Charlie's B plot just kind of got a bit bigger.
Yes, but first of all, just some commotion for the fact that he's just having a little raspberry soda. Why is that so cute?
Just a little treat moment, mid-afternoon. He's having a little slump, so a little sugar. Ginger arrives, just casually with a memo from the Secretary of Defense. And at this point, I think Charlie's like, I feel I have made a huge mistake.
The table of contents is 6 pages long.
Yeah. So I think Charlie was just going to ask some questions of his like pal at the Pentagon. But actually, I think he's made it seem like it was Jed who wanted to push the issue this woman was raising. And so I think Charlie's like, I've done a bad thing.
I've made a huge mistake.
We'll get to that. But back to Agent Donna at the media women's lunch.
Donatella, you want me to fix you up a piece of salmon?
She has infiltrated the kitchen. The kitchen staff are trying to feed her fettuccine.
They're on a first name basis.
This is absolute power. I stand by this. If you are in with the kitchen staff, if you have infiltrated the kitchen staff anywhere you work, you're in good hands. Yeah.
Donna is a people person, and that is her superpower.
This little chef double act also was killing me.
The two
guys just like riffing with each other. Incredible.
In their huge hats.
In their like comically large ratatouille chef hats. We bump into Ellen again, who is the kind of like one of these, I think she's probably like the EA, the kind of Donna equivalent to Senator Grace.
She might be an EA, or she might be her chief of staff.
Actually, that's probably more likely. So Donna's like, I kind of worked out that she was here, but it turns out she's not here. And Ellen's like, yeah, she's not here. Oh, wow, you're the little aide who could. The little aide who could. That is so rude, Ellen.
It's so rude, Ellen. And what bothers me about this is in order to be this rude, you have to assume that you think that Donna's political career is going nowhere. Because you'd never be that rude to someone's face who you thought was going to have a career where you might one day be equals or they might one day outrank you.
Like, actually, Ellen, you really need to think about what you just said to someone you didn't know. I hope it keeps you up at night, Ellen. Then Donna does some other cool shit. Is this where she takes the phone call?
Yeah.
She like takes it. It's not a fake phone call. But she's like, oh, sorry, I'm being called. And then she kind of does like a fake conversation where she is like, oh, we just got 3 more yes votes, Ellen. So have a nice life. And obviously it's a big old ruse. And I love a ruse. But I do think we're not done with Senator Hardin.
Yeah, and then we randomly cut to 3 people, and I'm not really sure why. One of them was to the senator.
No, I think we cut to Josh and someone that works in their pool.
I didn't recognize it as being Josh at all. I thought it was the senator because it was the woman who was sat at the desk.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird moment. It didn't really read for me. Back to Will, and he's with Elsie. Elsie is
my
a fish.
Spirit animal.
She is a fish in the West Wing.
Yes. And I do feel like I have entered the West Wing with Elsie Snuffin. I just feel like she's the comedy writer. She's just like
pitter-pattering behind him. And she's like, here's an inauguration joke about the first Jewish president. And I'm like, hi, Elsie. Welcome.
Yeah. I just love the concept that he's just gotten his stepsister a job so she can essentially punch up his speeches.
Icon behavior.
Yeah.
The goat is obviously in Will's office and the hazing continues.
Of course.
So it was a ruse, what Donna did, but it hasn't worked because she named the yay votes. And so obviously like Ellen and her team could easily just like ring those people's offices and be like, you're voting nay, right? And they're like, yeah, we're voting nay. So it kind of didn't work in terms of like flushing Grace Harden out. Josh, however, is like, we need to side with Jimmy. If we can get a yay vote out of him, sack off the separation of church and state. It's only $115,000.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm taking it to Leo. This won't end well, I don't think.
No, I mean, America is completely obsessed with forgetting the separation of church and state. It's like funny. But not this far.
Not this far.
Not under a Democratic administration.
I don't think so. So, Leigh, this is why Charlie Young is the most mature character. Because we go to a scene where he and Jed are in the Oval Office and Jed has the big memo and Charlie is just telling Jed what he did.
Yeah.
What he is doing is he admitted that he did a certain thing. He explains to Jed what his motives were and he makes sure that Jed knows and understands because he doesn't want anyone to get into trouble or anyone not to know anything. And that is maturity.
Agreed.
It's just not being scared to say you fucked up.
As the Secret Lives of Mormon wives always like to say, he took accountability.
Charlie does take accountability.
Yeah.
Jed is obviously like very wonderful and statesmanlike about this. He then continues to absolutely hate on John Paul.
Yeah, as we all do, quite frankly.
These are very special and very limited circumstances under which we are allies, you and I.
Understood, sir.
And I would like a continuing side quest in which Jed and Charlie are trying to break up Zoe and John Paul.
Yeah, I think this is a classic case of when a girl's first love is a fundamentally decent human being.
Yes.
So one would go so far as to say a stand-up human being.
Yeah.
She runs the risk of going out into the world assuming that everyone is as good of a person as her first love was. And then inevitably, the next person she dates is going to be a huge asshole.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Because she's been lulled into a false sense of security by happening to date a good person on her first try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Zoe.
Our sweet summer child.
She's got a lot to learn. Leo and Josh and the others kind of come in because we're going to talk about Senator Jimmy and his offer. And we're kind of talking it through. Josh is vibrating. And he says this, excuse me.
Yes?
The Earth is rotating rapidly on its axis. I think that is a phenomenal way of getting someone to focus.
Yeah.
Of being like, this is time sensitive.
Yeah.
I think that phraseology, perfection, thank you.
Yeah. You guys didn't come in here to tell me something funny?
3 of us did.
That was a perfect setup and punch for me.
Yeah, perfect. And just the only person just sort of like glitching out is Josh. Everyone else is like, this is a terrible idea. I wanted to write it all down. Like the dialogue was so spicy. It was really fun.
The whole scene is great.
And they all go to leave. And Jed just goes, Maxine.
That's you.
I know. We then have a real kind of rollback to some Josh behavior that we saw very early on in the show.
Yeah, of him talking over the president in the Oval.
Yeah.
For the love of God, Josh, I thought we'd moved past this.
Stop interrupting the president, Josh. Stop doing that.
Yeah. And then when Jed kind of calls him out on it, Josh says, I'd ask you to support that with evidence. To the president of the United States.
It's fucking nuts, right? A lovely moment, though.
Yes.
Where I think a key lesson happened for Joshua Lyman. Where Jed explained why sometimes conceding is important rather than winning and not winning right. And the quote, which you typed into the shared doc, I really enjoy.
You know the difference between you and me? I want to be the guy. You want to be the guy counts on.
It's like, let me be the guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the choices.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need you to be there for me.
Yeah.
I don't need you to be telling me what to do because I'm the president.
And it's also kind of like, I know that you want to be the guy that I count on, but I do. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to fail sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay to fail sometimes. Not everyone wins every single day.
Yeah. I feel nervous about Josh and Donna being in like a slightly darkened room together.
I'm stressed. Okay, I have so many things to say. First of all, I think this is the most physically relaxed we've ever seen Donna in Josh's presence. She's kind of splayed, exhausted in an armchair.
Yeah.
And I think we have only ever seen Donna very like upright and alert around Josh, which makes sense because he's her boss. We've kind of seen her cozy with CJ, with like some of the other female members of staff. We've never seen her, like, she looks powerful.
Yeah.
Tired, but powerful. The way that she's like sitting, she's like, they're more equals than we've ever seen them be before. But also I feel like if you watch the scene with no context, you would imagine that they were two romantic partners.
I think so.
Having a conversation.
100%. There's a shorthand to their interaction that to me is like a level of intimacy that you don't normally have with a colleague.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you that you put in the shared doc. We have heard nothing of the Christmas with Jack Reese.
In the Washington Inn, we've heard nothing.
Heard nothing.
She got a helicopter there. What I wouldn't have given for 30 seconds of dialogue with Carol about that Christmas with Jack Reese.
Let's just walk past Margaret in the hallway and have Margaret be like, how was Christmas? How are things with Jack? My God.
Was there no Margaret in this episode?
There was no Margaret. Robbed. We're always robbed of her presence. Will Bailey is back.
Mm-hmm.
I beg of Josh to learn Will's name or just call Will by his name because the not knowing his name joke isn't very funny.
No.
Then they like kind of rile each other up and like Josh just like is so incensed about something. He does like a weird British accent. Did you catch
Josh is
that?
losing his mind. Yeah, I did. I like really don't know what to say about it. I don't know where it came from. I think he intended it to be funny and like a, wow, look at me, I can do accents moment that heterosexual men sometimes like to do. But I truly didn't understand where he was going with it. He's unspooling. Josh is unspooling.
He is unspooling. He then bumps into CJ and says, "Excuse me. I believe you put a goat in my office, and I just want you to know that I stand here with full humor and total focus. You can fill my office with bicycles. You can cover the windows with Seaborn for Congress posters. You can bring in 101 Dalmatians. I'm focused on what I'm doing."
Who are you?
Will Bailey. I think this is the start of a beautiful friendship.
I think it's a match made in heaven, these two.
He then says something kind of crazy.
No, I'll take my hazing like the Eton valedictorian that I am. What's his name, please?
He's so funny. Joshua Malina is so funny.
He's so funny. And also I love that he took Josh's English accent and actually made a joke out of it.
Yeah. Do we think he went to Eton?
No, I think he's just playing on the English accent moment.
Cool. Because he did say that they're like, his and Elsie's granddad, like, knew Churchill, right?
Yeah, I kind of lost the plot a little bit at that point. But yeah.
We're going to close out with Donna not giving up.
Mm-hmm.
And another interaction with Ellen.
Just a moment of locked eyes with Ellen.
Donna was like, I beg of you, just give her the phone. Because they're like calling the votes now. And Ellen's like, no.
Yeah, Donna then gives us a rundown of all of the embarrassing things that she's done for Josh in the 4 years that she's worked with him. Can I tell you something? Josh has asked me to work Saturdays, work Sundays, and at least once a week he has me there after 1 a.m. He asked me to transpose portions of the federal budget into Base 8, go to North Dakota, and dress up as an East German cocktail waitress. In the 5 years of working for him, he's never asked me to hide him from something. Can I have my boss's phone back? To which I have to say, East German cocktail waitress?
I would love to know more about that. I think this is my favorite, like, kind of like Donna moment of power.
Yes.
Because she is saying something that is so fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I've done a lot of shit for this guy,
Mm-hmm.
but he's never hidden from his job.
Yeah.
So, like, take a long, hard look in the mirror, Ellen. Take that, Ellen.
Yeah. There's also something interesting happening, which leads me to think that they are setting something up to happen quite soon between Josh and Donna. They are doing quite a lot of mythologizing to other people.
Backstory.
About their relationship to each other with anecdotes that we both know and don't know from the show. Because we saw in the previous episode, Josh kind of mythologizing all of his Donna anecdotes.
Yeah.
To Jack Reese.
That's so interesting, Leigh.
It makes me think that we're gearing up their relationship again.
Yeah. We close out this episode with a really fun group photo with the goat, with Ron, the goat.
With a visitor pass.
Yes, and Toby takes the visitor's pass off of Will and puts it on the goat. So I think that's also like a you're part of the team now moment. I really, really loved this episode. I think it's a really strong mid-season ep.
Yes, agreed.
I had a lovely time. To the quick fires, Leigh. Best fashion.
I'm going to say Donna's blue ensemble. She's got like a baby blue blouse and then like a naughty skinny scarf.
Lovely.
She's striding around DC. I really liked it.
I think my honourable mention then will go to CJ's camel coat paired with the lovely red scarf.
For what a British or Irish politician could never get away with, I have to give it to you, Fiona.
Sexualizing his daughter as some sort of test for his employees. Jed keeps on saying to people about how Zoe is growing up nicely.
I didn't really want to get into that too much, but
he's saying it so that people go, yeah, and then he's like, don't say that. And you're like, well, don't ask the question, bud. It's
all kind of very like Father of the Bride American humor. You know, that series of movies?
Yes.
Like it's a uniquely American thing that dads love to have little cute jokes about like shooting their daughter's boyfriends.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
'Tis.
Anyway.
The queerest moment that never meant to be queer.
I have to give it to you again, Fiona.
So there's one point where Jed describes his daughter's boyfriend as being more attractive than his wife. I think the specific quote is, my daughter is dating a kid who's better looking than my wife. I only have so much RAM to give over to CJ. He's like fully glitching out. Very good. What was your best writerly moment?
You guys didn't come in here to tell me something funny.
3 of us did.
Oh, amazing.
And the delivery, I think, on that one as well. It's a combined effort from both teams. I just enjoyed Jed's use of Maxine.
That's you.
I know.
But also, like, why Maxine?
Like, so I think it's a Jedism of just him, like, coming up with some random shit. Man, I feel like a man.
You know the difference between you and me? I want to be the guy. You want to be the guy counts on.
It's very male.
It's a lot of guys.
It's a lot of guys. I think my honourable mention here is when you're angry that your daughter is dating someone new who you don't like, so you discuss this situation with her ex-boyfriend and you say this, these are very special and very limited circumstances under which we are allies, you and I.
Understood, sir.
It's so good. What was your moment that made you proudest to be an American?
Donna and the envelope.
Yes, actually, Agent Donna made me proud to be an American.
Yeah.
Lovely. Leigh, you said that I might get slightly incensed at this study session. Tell me more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've just been sat at my reception desk, absolutely vibrating with rage, preparing this for you today.
Incredible.
So, what even is USAID?
Tell me more.
So the first major international aid, President Hoover, who we had a little joke about last ep, in 1914, established the Commission for the Relief in Belgium to give food assistance to 9 million Belgian and French civilians living in German-occupied territories during World War I. That's the first time that the US does foreign aid.
Okay.
Then we obviously have like Roosevelt with the Lend-Lease program in World War II, which I believe we actually both learned about in school.
Yes, yeah, I do recall.
President Truman and the Marshall Plan to help rebuild Europe after World War II.
I learned in detail about the Marshall Plan.
Of course. Now we come to the young Congressman JFK. He was not a supporter of foreign aid until he went on a 7-week, 25,000-mile congressional trip in 1951, where he traveled to Israel, Pakistan, India, Malaysia, Thailand, Korea, Japan, and Vietnam. A big trip for 1951.
Covering a lot of ground.
Totally. And he was so moved by meeting people in these countries who were fighting for nationhood that he started to form the opinion that communism could not be solely combated through force of arms. He believed it also needed to be combated with soft power, aka aid. His views on foreign aid were also shaped. This is just so funny. And this tells me that JFK was ultimately like a book club girly, because his views on foreign aid were also shaped by the 1958 novel The Ugly American by William J. Lederer and Eugene Burdick, which depicted the exploits of bumbling Americans in a fictional Asian country who were constantly being outsmarted by communists.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bestseller for 76 weeks when it came out. And when Kennedy was elected as senator in 1953, he purchased a copy for every one of his Senate colleagues.
Really?
Yes. And took out a full-page ad in the New York Times praising it.
That's so funny.
It's such a like, oh my God, have you read Gone Girl
moment.
My
God. So I'm reading this book called Gone Girl, and everyone's like, oh my God, I really want to read that. And then, yes, yeah. Very funny.
So 1961, JFK is now president. He establishes USAID as an alternative way of fighting the Cold War and to show off American capitalism to the world and fight communism through international aid. Oxfam is quoted as saying recently, USAID brought life-saving medicines, food, clean water, and assistance for farmers, kept women and girls safe, and promoted peace, all for less than 1% of our federal budget. Now, when it was initially established, the budget director, David Bell, did question what relationship this new aid agency should have with the Secretary of State and the State Department. But ultimately decided that the USAID agency should report directly to the Secretary of State, not through like any intervening layers of the State Department, which rankled those in the State Department because they didn't have any control over what USAID was doing. They didn't have a hand in it. So from the beginning, there has been a complicated relationship between the State Department and USAID because obviously what those two different government agencies are doing is very interlinked.
Yeah.
But diplomacy and aid are in many ways two separate activities that have to affect each other. But it's like what cause and effect relationship? Who's in charge of who?
Yeah.
So, yes, a State Department official said in 1962, the aid program is too intimately involved in our foreign relations to allow for the fiction that it is a technical operation which state can delegate to an operating agency. So, a quick rundown of what USAID has accomplished. The Green Revolution was championed by the Johnson administration with the Ford and Rockefeller foundations, and that staved off what could have been an era of global famine by boosting income to poor farmers in various regions. Countries like Taiwan and South Korea have become economic powerhouses largely due to U.S. investment through USAID. So we have USAID in many ways to thank for K-pop. There, I said it. Because they did it especially by building tech expertise in the planning and finance ministries in both Taiwan and South Korea. The Clinton administration is kind of, which makes sense why the storyline is coming up in the West Wing, is when the fight for control between the State Department and USAID reached its peak.
Mm-hmm.
Senator Jesse Helms, a Republican of North Carolina, in a surprise to no one, led the fight to basically fold USAID into the State Department, which ultimately led to deep budget cuts for USAID. At the same time that USAID was trying to get more ambitious and focus on issues like women's issues and the environment that had kind of been afterthoughts before. And ultimately, USAID over the decades has become a key part of US foreign policy, as well as actually having a huge impact on reducing global poverty. Until 2025, it's been less than 1% of the American federal budget, which worked out to approximately $105 per US citizen per year.
Okay.
In another huge accomplishment for USAID, in a kind of slightly unlikely bedfellows collab between USAID, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the World Health Organization, and the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Just a left turn there at the end, eradicated smallpox with a vaccination campaign. And it's the first time a disease was ever eradicated globally.
Wow.
And prior to that, smallpox killed 300 million people worldwide in the 20th century.
Oh my God. Okay.
That brings us to 2024. In 2024, USAID was providing assistance to 130 countries including war relief in Ukraine, and assistance for the humanitarian crisis in the Congo. And also, just globally, one of the most effective things that USAID has done is investing in maternal and child health. Since 1990, the number of children under 5 dying has dropped by half.
Wow, that's an incredible statistic.
And 90 countries have seen the rate of under 5 mortality drop by 2/3 since 1990. Which brings us to the second Trump administration.
Okay, is this where we're going to start getting very incensed?
The hellscape in which we now live. Donald Trump, I hate that we're living in this timeline. Like, I just would love to live in like any other.
Yeah.
But Trump comes in for his second term and unveils his America First policy. Basically, he comes into office on the 20th of January, 2025, and immediately puts thousands of USAID employees on leave.
Yes, I remember this.
People working abroad were recalled. So, in an executive order on his first day of office, he froze foreign assistance and funding and ordered like a review of USAID's work abroad, which was led by Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, as it became known. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, which is a phrase I will never get over saying out loud, announced on X on March 10th, 2025, that the Trump administration was canceling 83% of programs supported by USAID and was folding the remaining programs into the State Department.
Right. Okay.
So March 2025, so about a year ago, he says that after the review, the US government would be officially ending 5,200 of USAID's 6,200 programs. He wrote on X, the 5,200 contracts that are now canceled spent tens of billions of dollars in ways that did not serve and in some cases even harmed the core national interests of the United States. In consultation with Congress, we intend for the remaining 18% of programs we are keeping to be administered more effectively under the State Department. And then he went on to thank the employees at DOGE who worked very long hours to achieve this overdue and historic reform. Democrats and various humanitarian organizations basically called the shutdown of USAID's programs illegal because USAID is funded by Congress, not by the executive branch.
Yeah.
USAID, of course, had a variety of missions around the globe, including famine detection, polio vaccines, emergency food kitchens in conflict zones, and it's estimated that about 2 million people have been affected by these programs being shut down. In Sudan, the freeze in humanitarian assistance has led to 1,100 communal kitchens being shut down for those who have been left with nothing because of the ongoing civil war in Sudan. In Oman, Afghan women who fled the Taliban government to pursue higher education are now facing returning to Afghanistan after their USAID-funded scholarships have been terminated. India's first medical clinic for transgender people has been closed. And the US President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, or PEPFAR, which since 2003 has saved 25 million lives and prevented millions of HIV infections and supported HIV epidemic control by increasing HIV testing and providing treatment to those who are HIV positive. Oxfam's America's president and CEO, Abby Maxman, who has been working in international development for 30 years, said that in the Ivory Coast, 70% of antiretroviral medication in the country on which people living with HIV and AIDS depend is provided through PEPFAR. If we cut off the program, literally 70% of the people living with HIV will lose their treatment. The uncertainty this introduces is cruel. We have run out of words to describe the depths of suffering we have witnessed after President Trump took a sledgehammer to U.S. humanitarian assistance and the entire global aid system. We are seeing years of progress unravel and more children suffer and die preventable deaths because of these cuts.
Yeah, but the thing is, Leigh, he really wants this new ballroom, right? So
it's so infuriating. There was a 7.7 magnitude earthquake in Myanmar in March 2025. And Abby Maxman also said that the shutting down of USAID means that the US government's ability to respond to the humanitarian crisis in Myanmar and future crises is severely compromised.
Yeah.
Speed, collaboration, and resources are life and death matters when disaster strikes. The illegal decision to dismantle USAID means the US will be unable to show up as it has in past emergencies. I just can't get over the idea that we in Western society know what was suffered by people in the AIDS epidemic before there was any treatment, before there was any knowledge, before there was any information available. And the fact that that treatment is now available to prevent people from dying the types of deaths that they died in the 1980s and the 1990s.
Yeah.
And you've just taken it away from people for no reason.
Yeah.
It is unconscionable to me. The freeze is, of course, also affecting hundreds of thousands of people in the Congo who are fleeing violence, many of whom are gathered in the city of Goma, where the local water and sanitation infrastructure can't accommodate that number of people. And organizations funded by USAID were forced to immediately stop the essential work they were doing, aka providing clean water to the displaced people who were in the city, which led people to source water from a lake, creating what the UN is now calling the worst cholera outbreak in 25 years in the Congo. And by December 2025, a 361% increase in deaths from cholera. Like, it's 2026. How are we talking about a cholera outbreak?
Yeah. And something that was being managed.
Like an uncontained cholera outbreak. Yeah, the deaths from cholera are up from 409 in 2024 to 1,888 in 2025. Kamara Wabamund, who works in a health clinic there, serving displaced people in Eastern Congo, said when funding was cut, everything collapsed. There was no backup plan. Neither the hospitals nor the communities were prepared. We were asking people to pay, yet they couldn't even afford their next meal. I fear that cholera will exterminate this population. They have survived the bombardments, but cutting off assistance could lead to more deaths than the war.
Yeah, I believe that.
Oxfam America investigated Americans' views on foreign aid with two opinion polls in March and May of 2025. 2 out of 3 Americans, including nearly half of Republicans, do not support the 85% cut to USAID programs. When asked how much would be appropriate for the US to invest in foreign aid, more than 95% of respondents identified an amount that is actually higher than what was
originally cut from.
Exactly. More than 3 in 4 Americans signaled support for food assistance, water and sanitation, and disaster and medical relief programs. February 3rd, 2026, Congress passed a bill allocating $50 billion for foreign aid, which is a huge first step in reinvesting in aid and reasserting congressional authority over how taxpayer dollars are actually used. And it includes specific directives about how tax dollars have to be used in order to support vulnerable communities and restore US foreign aid.
Yeah.
But Oxfam warns that given current trajectories, a child under 5 could die every 40 seconds by 2030 due to USAID cuts, with at least 200,000 under 5 deaths projected in 2025 alone. That is the first time that statistic has risen this century. Like, it's been 100 years since under 5 deaths have been rising.
Yeah. So, like, if you were the president, you would probably have a preoccupation with legacy. How am I going to be remembered? And a lot of the kind of way that Trump talks about himself is, you know, I am the greatest ever. I'm the greatest president. And you think, but the statistics speak for themselves. Like, this has happened under your watch. How are you blind to this? The evidence shows that is not correct.
I think if there's one thing that like 99% of the human population can agree on, it's that infant mortality should be going down.
Yeah.
I think that is something that we can all globally agree on.
Yeah.
Is that babies shouldn't die.
Yeah. That feels like something that everyone can connect on, just no matter what different political beliefs you have.
So Nicholas Einrich, who's the author of Into the Wood Chipper, which is a memoir about the downfall of USAID. He's an expert in drug-resistant tuberculosis who was the acting assistant administrator for global health before USAID was dismantled, said, "When we turn our backs on the world and break the promises we made to millions of people, it erodes the soft power partnerships that the US had built up over the years and drives them into partnerships with adversaries like Russia and China. It is politically naive to think that Kennedy's plan was purely altruistic. It was designed to counter Soviet influence during the Cold War." He also told The Guardian in an interview that this all comes at a time when so many are wrestling with the idea of when it is no longer okay and when it is time to speak up. "I wanted to share my story as an example so that normal people can make choices if they find themselves in that position." He had issued a memo in March 2025 outlining the risks of freezing foreign aid with the conclusion that it would have severe domestic and global consequences. And less than 30 minutes later, after that memo was published, he was put on administrative leave.
It's so dark. We are in the darkest timeline right now.
He says, "I wanted to let people know what happened, and however bad they thought it might be inside USAID when Doge came in to tear it apart, it was way worse, especially the incompetence, ignorance, and cruelty that came along with it. It looked like a group of unqualified people that came in to replace decades of expertise and tore down an agency."
Wow.
He said that Adam Korzeniowski, who was a veteran of the first Trump administration, quote, "acted like a vindictive landlord throwing a farewell party for a tenant."
Oh, that's awful. What a description.
Trump appointees at the time also tried to argue that USAID was providing abortions and that taxpayer dollars were going toward providing abortions, to which Nicholas Einrich says, "I don't know whether to laugh or cry. USAID didn't provide abortions to anyone. In fact, we had strict legal prohibitions on that, but it was one of the concerns of Republican members of Congress. I started to recognize how often and critically administration officials were lying about what was happening inside USAID, like Elon Musk going to the White House to say Ebola activities had been restarted on the same day that his Doge team had canceled the contracts. At some point, I realized that if I didn't speak up from my position as a government official, it was going to be too late. This was not an attempt to realign foreign aid in a way that made sense or make it more aligned with America first. This was a group of people who did not know what the agency did, but really did not know or care what it was they were tearing apart." He also, I think, makes the very important argument that all of this the past year of what's happened with USAID completely misses any lesson that is to be taken from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah.
Saying outbreaks that start abroad do not respect international borders. And USAID had invested hundreds of millions of dollars in early warning systems to detect potential outbreaks of diseases in countries where they originate and to deal with them before they are able to spread. But that was immediately torn down, leaving us blind to what might be developing. Our inability to detect outbreaks and prevent the next outbreak is a threat to national security, but it's not the only one. The way that they abruptly tore apart USAID created other national security threats.
Yeah.
Again, I got a lot of that information from Nicholas Enric, who's the author of Into the Wood Chipper, which I think we should all be investing in a copy of. And he also did give an amazing interview with The Guardian, if you wanted to look that up. But I will close out by just taking a moment for some of the people who worked at USAID, spent their careers at USAID. The New York Times wrote this month, when the Trump administration dismantled the sprawling global aid agency last year, it wiped out virtually an entire industry, international development, that has been based in Washington since USAID's creation in 1961 under John F. Kennedy. Nearly all of the agency's 16,000 employees were laid off. A year later, people have plowed through their savings, cashed out retirement funds, and moved in with friends and relatives. Former USAID workers who have done informal surveys estimate that less than half have found full-time work.
Wow.
And these are people with such specific expertise that is now not being used by the global community.
No.
January 20th, 2025, Amy Uxello was fired by email while on maternity leave and given 24 hours to clear out her desk and left with 3 days of health insurance as a new mom.
That's insane.
And no severance pay. She'd worked at USAID or related groups for 20 years. Now, a year later, she's still unemployed. Her husband also lost his job when funding for his nonprofit was taken away due to the cuts to USAID. She said, I can't sleep because of our own situation. I can't sleep because of what I know is happening around the world. I can't sleep because my former colleagues and friends are also suffering. Washington, D.C. now has the highest unemployment rate in the nation. It's 6.7%, largely due to the huge cuts to the federal workforce by DOGE.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just decimate a whole industry and think it's not going to have an economic impact.
It just seems like things like this shouldn't happen. Like,
I mean, we have protections in this country from being fired in that way. Like, you know, that don't exist in the United States. Catherine Baker is a former USAID contractor. She said, everyone I know is also up the creek. All my bosses, my mentors, the people I would normally go to, the people who are providing me with references. Now she volunteers as a manager for OneAid, which helps former USAID workers find jobs. She also works 9 hours a week as a companion to 2 elderly women. And that's all the work she's been able to find so far.
That's mad.
Courtney Blake was working in Geneva for USAID's Bureau of Humanitarian Assistance when the cuts happened. She is now living with her sister and her sister's family in New York. She said, I'm living with family all over again, like I'm 22 and just out of college. I spent the last 13 years of my career and also personal life turning up to work every day in service of my country, doing work that at the core I believed in, but suddenly on a whim, all of that is forgotten. And just the last one that I'll mention, Cheryl Cowan is 57, and she was a senior vice president at a USAID funded nonprofit. She recently did an online interview for a $19 an hour job managing a store near her home. And she said, somehow after 20 years of experience, you're suddenly trying to hide the number because it makes you sound old. I was writing in the blurb at the top of my resume, I have over 30 years of experience. And don't put in the year you graduated from Bucknell. She said it made her doubt, did I really do all those great things? Was I really good once?
Yeah.
I just I can't imagine like the disrespect to like a woman in her latter 50s. It's just the disrespect. But humanitarian aid is now shrinking globally. According to OECD preliminary figures, 26 out of 34 donor nations shrank their aid budgets in 2025, with France, Germany, and the UK in double digits.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like there's a trickle effect to these things, which is if a huge and powerful nation decides to do something like that, it will get reflected to some extent by like all other countries who have been giving foreign aid, because it's setting a precedent that you can take it away.
Yeah.
That it's something to be undone to a degree.
Keir Starmer announced in February that the UK would reduce its aid commitment to 0.3% of gross national income by 2027, which is the lowest it's been since 1999, to help fund a defence spending increase.
Yeah. It's not really what we imagined for our Labour government, is it?
No, that is not what I voted for in all of the years that I voted for Labour, and I'll leave that there. But Trump is now trying to push a trade over aid thing, and he's trying to enlist other countries in this, basically trying to completely change international development and just gear it towards capitalism, arguing that powerful, rich nations shouldn't even do direct aid anymore, and should instead increase trade, which is led by private companies.
It's just all so dumb. And the thing is, it's you can't run America like a business.
No. You also are bad at running businesses, by the way.
Yeah, famously. You know, it's just it boggles my mind every day when I read the news, because I'm like, why do you think this is going to work? Why do you think this is going to be of benefit to anyone? And also, you're not giving the general public any information. You are purposefully misinforming the general public in order to stay in a powerful position. And I don't know how you sleep at night.
More children are dying because you are president.
There's your legacy.
There are a lot of things that I could say about a lot of former presidents.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much that we can pull apart about Biden's legacy, Obama's legacy, whatever. We can categorically say that more children will die because Donald Trump was president of the United States.
Yes.
And that's all I have to say. God bless America.
I think I've become so much more aware of a kind of like disconnect that I'm having personally. So like I would read the news and I will read a story that I find shocking, and I'll kind of will interrogate it and be shocked. And that is happening less and less. One, because I'm being less shocked because I'm expecting terribly awful things to happen. But also because I'm feeling more and more powerless to have any influence over those things. And that's what feels dangerous right now.
Yeah.
Is the fact that like the world has become this business, and there's loads of people who are deciding things about my life based on whether or not it's good business, and not about people's experience of being alive. And honestly, I just feel like we are being ravaged in an unspeakable way by late stage capitalism right now. And I am fucking exhausted of this.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to fight that, because that's what they want, is for us to be too tired to do anything. Too tired to go out in the street and protest.
Yeah.
Or too tired to volunteer. Or too tired to get involved in local politics. And so I'm trying to not give in to that apathy or feel like there's nothing that can be done. And I know there's lots of people out there who feel the same way, and it's really hard to be the best version of yourself right now. And I can't imagine, and I feel so much for all of our American listeners, how it feels when your country is doing things like this.
Yeah.
But if we can only make very small amounts of change, that is still change. And if we can only support a very small amount of people, that's still better than nothing. and there is stuff to be done that can make a difference.
Yes.
So if you have any energy, and I understand that none of us really do right now, if you feel that you can put it into something small and good, that is a step towards us reclaiming a little bit of something. So that's
write to your MP, vote in your local elections, vote down ballot, vote for the people in your city council, in your local government. Check online at Rock the Vote if your voter registration has been messed with in any way, just to make sure the midterms are coming up, just to make sure that come election day, you're not going to have some nightmare scenario. There are things that we can do. We can write to our MPs. We can write to our members of Congress. Positive things are possible.
And one of the simplest things as part of that is register to vote and go and vote anytime you can. We have a democracy at the moment. Let's use that.
Let's make those checks and balances that we learned about in season 1, episode 1 of this podcast that was still under the Biden administration. Let's make those checks and balances work.
I think I actually need to maybe have some non-verbal time away from any screens.
Yeah.
No.
I'm so sorry. I know that we don't necessarily come to this podcast for that, but I think I needed to work through some feelings that I personally had about what's happened to USAID. So thank you all for indulging me in that.
When we started this podcast, Leigh and I were really clear. We are not political commentators.
We're just two gals making sense of what's going on.
And that's honestly just it.
Ultimately, it's in their interests for all of us to feel like we can't understand it and we can't get to grips with what's going on. So I'm not going to let the fact that I'm not an expert stop me from trying to understand and trying to go get to grips with everything. So this podcast is in the spirit of there are no dumb questions and we're going to figure out the nitty gritty of what's going on.
Thank you, Leigh. That's what I was. You're so smart.
If you enjoyed this podcast, if you appreciate it, we would absolutely love if you gave us a little review, gave us a little rate, and we are going to be back next week for the very ominously titled "The Long Goodbye."
Yes. Yeah. We'll get to that.
We'll catch you then.
We'll catch you then. As always, we are Queer Girls Watch. As Leigh said, a little rate, a little review. It helps the podcast get to people who might like it. And that's kind of what we really want, to grow this like really fun, wonderful community that we've become a part of. Until next week, stay safe, look after yourselves, and we'll be in your ears then.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.